Imagine discovering that there is a nerve in your body that, when correctly activated, completely shifts your vibration, turning you into a true magnet for opportunities, destined encounters, and events that defy logic. This isn't fiction, nor empty spirituality. It's science and spirituality working together. In 2021, a confidential study at Johns Hopkins revealed something that can change your life with just 4 minutes a day. They weren't researching manifestation, yet the results pointed directly to it. Ordinary people accessing extraordinary states of reality. Today, you're going to learn the protocol that activates what the ancients called the channel of divine communication, and what modern science calls the vagus nerve, or as many are now calling it, the God nerve. Before we continue, comment below. My body is ready to receive what is already mine by right. This sets your intention and attracts good vibrations for this moment. Few names carry as much weight when we talk about the union of science, spirituality, and the hidden nature of consciousness as Jacobo Grinberg. A Mexican neurophysiologist and psychologist, Grinberg dedicated his life to understanding how the human mind interacts with reality and how we can influence the world around us through our internal state. His studies on the neural field and the synergic field pointed to a revolutionary truth. Reality is not fixed. It responds to the consciousness that observes it. This same logic was confirmed decades later by discoveries like Dr. Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory, which revealed how this state of our nervous system, especially the vagus nerve, defines how we relate to the world, whether in stress, apathy, or full magnetism. This bridge between ancient knowledge and modern neuroscience is no longer speculation. Science is now understanding, with precision, how the body becomes the channel for conscious manifestation. And what was once intuition is now measurable. A high-frequency body receives, a defensive body repels. That's why the protocol you're about to learn is not just a technique, it's a biological key for real transformation. For centuries, spiritual texts and esoteric traditions have spoken of energy channels, power centers, and invisible lines connecting the human body to the divine. In the Vedas, the sacred texts of ancient India, there is a description of the Sushumna Nadi, a central channel running along the spine and connecting the mind to the spirit. It was considered the path of enlightenment, inner ascension, and conscious manifestation. Today, modern science has found a physical structure that aligns precisely with that description: the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the human body, extending from the brainstem to the abdomen, passing through vital organs like the heart, lungs, intestines, and even the vocal cords. It is the main channel of the parasympathetic nervous system, regulating involuntary functions such as breathing, heart rate, and digestion. But what few people know is that it also plays a central role in how we perceive the world, respond to stress, connect with others, and, more profoundly, how we manifest the reality we experience. When you stimulate the vagus nerve correctly, you don't just calm the body, you alter your vibrational state. This isn't poetic language. Recent scientific studies show that vagal activation is linked to increased heart rate variability, HRV, one of the main indicators of emotional health, balance, and resilience. People with high HRV are more adaptable, calmer under pressure, and, interestingly, often experience more synchronicities and intuitive decision-making. This frequency shift isn't only internal. According to studies from the HeartMath Institute, the human heart emits a measurable electromagnetic field that extends about 3 meters from the body. When the vagus nerve is activated and the body enters a state of coherence, that field becomes more organized, consistent, and detectable by other nervous systems. In other words, you become magnetic. That's why so many people are calling the vagus nerve the God nerve. Not because it is divine in itself, but because it allows humans to access states once reserved for deep meditation, intense prayer, or advanced spiritual experiences. It is the bridge between biology and consciousness, between who we are and who we can become. When the body enters this state of high resonance, it doesn't just perceive reality differently, it attracts a different reality. As Jacobo Grinberg said, reality is constructed by perception, and perception is shaped by the internal state. The vagus nerve is the physiological key to that state. Many people sincerely dedicate themselves to the process of manifestation. They visualize, repeat affirmations, stay positive, and make requests to the universe. Yet still, they see no concrete changes. They feel frustrated, doubt themselves, or begin believing that manifestation doesn't work. Or, what almost no one realizes, is that the failure isn't in the desire or the mind, it's in the body. The human body has a nervous system that operates automatically, interpreting the environment as safe or threatening. This system is divided into two main branches: the sympathetic, which activates fight or flight, and the parasympathetic, where the vagus nerve plays the starring role, responsible for calm, presence, and connection. When we are stressed, anxious, tense, or even apathetic, the body is operating in defense mode. And in that state, the biological system rejects everything unfamiliar, even if it's positive. Here's the key. Manifestation is only possible when the body interprets what you want as safe. If your nervous system is in alert mode at a subconscious level, it will perceive opportunities as threats. A new partnership may trigger fear of rejection. An increase in income may activate scarcity memories. A new relationship may be seen as an emotional risk. So even when the mind says, "I want this," the body says, "This is not safe." The result? Contraction, rejection, blockage. This disconnection between mind and body explains why so much manifestation fails. A person desires something intensely, but their nervous system is stuck. The vagus nerve, which should be active, is dormant or collapsed, preventing the expansion needed to receive what they want. It's like trying to tune into a radio station without being on the right frequency. The message is there, but your body can't receive it. To change this, we must flip the traditional logic. Instead of trying to force the universe to bring something to you, you must prepare the body to receive. This is done by entering the correct biological state: high HRV, deep breathing, a sense of safety, and vibrational openness. This is the state of effective manifestation. And it doesn't happen through thought alone, but through nervous system regulation. One of the most powerful discoveries in this field came from the 4-minute protocol developed in recent studies. Combining posture, breathing, and sound, this protocol can reconfigure the body into this receptive state in record time. When the vagus nerve is activated, the body exits defense mode and enters magnetism mode. From there, what once seemed impossible begins to appear. Unexpected encounters, spontaneous ideas, aligned decisions. You don't need to become someone else to manifest. You simply need to put your body back into the biological state that allows you to receive what is already trying to find you. Effective manifestation does not depend only on belief or intention, but on the internal state the body maintains toward life. This brings us to one of the most revolutionary discoveries in contemporary neuroscience, Dr. Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory, which illuminated the true role of the vagus nerve and how it regulates everything we call connection with the world. The theory explains that the vagus nerve is not a simple switch that turns relaxation on or off. It has two distinct pathways, each activating completely different states in the body. The first is the dorsal pathway, the most primitive, associated with collapse, apathy, and a sense of disconnection. It's the biological state of someone frozen inside, living in survival mode, often without realizing it. In this mode, The body disconnects from the environment, reduces vital energy, and enters a deep form of shutdown. Manifestation in this state is nearly impossible because the dominant vibration is contraction and scarcity. The second is the ventral pathway, a more evolved route responsible for active calm, authentic connection, and expansive presence. In this state, the body is relaxed but alert. The mind is clear but not anxious. The person feels safe, open, and centered. This is the state where true manifestation happens because the body vibrates in coherence and trust, and the nervous system interprets the new as welcome, not dangerous. Most people spend their entire lives oscillating between stress, sympathetic mode, and shutdown, dorsal mode. They almost never access the ventral state, where the body becomes magnetic, intuitive, and receptive. And this isn't a matter of willpower. It's biology, it's physiology, and that's where knowledge becomes liberating. By understanding the vagus nerve pathways, you gain access to the key that can change not just your behavior, but your personal vibration. When you learn to activate the ventral pathway through breathing, posture, vocalization, and other elements we'll explore in the protocol, you teach your body to recognize the good as safe. This simple shift changes everything. You begin seeing the world with more clarity, noticing opportunities where before you saw obstacles, and most importantly, the world begins responding differently to you. The personal magnetism so many people seek doesn't come from appearance or forced charisma. It comes from a body in the ventral state. People feel drawn to those who radiate safety and presence. Opportunities arise for those who maintain openness without anxiety. The external world begins reflecting the internal state. The vagus nerve is not just a string inside you. It is your biological and spiritual antenna, tuning your frequency so you align with what you truly desire, effortlessly, naturally, by being in the right state. Now that you understand the importance of the vagus nerve and the biological state in manifestation, you're ready to access the tool that transforms knowledge into practice. This is an advanced yet simple protocol that requires only 4 minutes per day, using 3 main elements: posture, breath, and sound. This combination stimulates the vagus nerve precisely, leading the body into the ventral state where manifestation becomes possible and natural. Everything begins with the vagal activation posture, called the vagal reset posture. Sit in a chair with your feet flat on the ground, wider than shoulder width apart. Lean forward, resting your elbows on your knees, and let your head drop as if you were exhausted. This position compresses the abdomen, activates the diaphragm, and triggers a physiological condition known as the diving reflex, slowing the body down automatically and signaling safety to the brain. With the body positioned, you begin the 4 breathing cycles, each with a specific function. The first cycle, called vagal priming, is done by inhaling deeply through the nose for 4 seconds, expanding the abdomen against the thighs. Hold the breath for 7 seconds, and during the hold, swallow once. Swallowing directly stimulates the vagus nerve. Then exhale through the mouth for 8 seconds, making a vibrational sound like a soft v or This sound is crucial. Research shows that sound vibrations between 80 and 120 Hz effectively activate vagal pathways, aligning the body with a frequency of calm and presence. The second cycle, pressure calibration, adds 2 more elements: pressing the tongue against the roof of the mouth, known as Kachari Mudra, and contracting the pelvic floor, as if holding in urine. This simultaneous activation from above and below creates a subtle electrical current running through the body, reinforcing vagus nerve stimulation through multiple pathways. As you exhale, all muscles relax, teaching the body to transition between tension and release, a key skill for emotional balance in decisive moments. The third cycle, manifestation encoding, is when you vividly visualize the exact moment your manifestation becomes real. Not the desire, The realization. Where are you? Who is with you? What does it physically feel like? During the breath hold, you let yourself feel that emotion and swallow to anchor it. As you exhale with the vibrational sound, you emit that feeling as an energetic signal, not forcing the universe, but transmitting a frequency coherent with what you desire. The final cycle, integration lock, seals the entire process. You breathe deeply, swallow, activate the body points, and on the exhale, release everything. This cycle creates a new point of balance in your nervous system, a new baseline of presence, openness, and inner power. Repeating this protocol for 21 days creates a new internal pattern. This isn't mind control, it's biological calibration. By aligning with what you desire, you stop chasing and begin naturally attracting what is already compatible with your new vibrational state. Manifestation, in its deepest sense, is not about controlling what happens, but about tuning yourself to what is already trying to happen. When the body is in coherence and the vagus nerve is activated, you become more than a passive observer of life. You become a conscious receiver of the invisible, and this is where science and spirituality meet in astonishing ways. Dr. Rollin McCraty of the HeartMath Institute conducted studies showing that the human heart generates a measurable electromagnetic field that extends about 3 meters beyond the body. This field is not static. It changes according to the person's emotional state and becomes more organized and coherent during calm, gratitude, love, or spiritual connection. This state of cardiac coherence is directly influenced by the vagus nerve. When activated, it harmonizes communication between the heart and the brain, allowing intuition to emerge with greater clarity. In practical terms, this means you begin noticing coincidences that are actually signals. An unexpected meeting, a message arriving at the right moment, a detour that leads you exactly where you needed to be. These events happen more often because you are present enough to notice, open enough to receive, and aligned enough to act. The universe is always speaking. The problem is that most people are too tense to hear. Science already recognizes that the brain is not the only center of information processing. The heart and the gut, for example, have their own neural networks, and the vagus nerve is the bridge between these centers, which is why activating it increases the sensitivity of your entire system to perceive information beyond logic. You start feeling when something is right, even when it doesn't yet make rational sense. This is intuition, acting as a radar for manifestation. But there is an important detail. The frequency you emit determines the type of signal you attract. If your body is in stress or defense, it emits signals of resistance. That attracts more chaos, more tension, more tests. But a regulated body, with high HRV and a coherent magnetic field, emits signals of clarity and confidence, and attracts, by resonance, situations of harmony, progress, and abundance. When practiced consistently, the 4-minute protocol doesn't just improve your physiology, it refines your perception of the invisible. You become more sensitive to signs, more aware of opportunities, and more capable of moving confidently through the unexpected. Manifestation stops being an act of effort and becomes a natural flow of synchronicities. Jacobo Grinberg said reality is like a flexible fabric shaped by consciousness. The protocol, then, is not just a technique. It is the needle that realigns your vibration with the reality you want to weave. And when that happens, life begins to surprise you, but you are already prepared to receive. Now that you understand the hidden power of your own body and have learned how to activate what science calls the vagus nerve, and the spirit recognizes as the channel of manifestation, you've reached the most important moment, applying this knowledge. Transformation doesn't happen by listening alone. It happens when you act, breathe, feel, and align. Set aside 4 minutes of your day. Create a sacred space where your presence is total. Practice the protocol for 21 days with intention and observe not only what changes around you, but especially how you begin responding to life's signs. The key is not in what comes to you, but in how you receive it. If you feel this content awakened something inside you, share it with someone who needs to remember that power doesn't come from the outside. It lives within their own nervous system. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, do it now, because here science meets the soul, and together we transform information into evolution. And remember, comment below, Vagus activated. This simple gesture reinforces your intention, creates an energetic anchor, and invites the universe to participate in your expansion process.